Hello girls. Today I shall deal with revision. Revision of the 3 chapters that we have dealt with in the previous 3 classes. And the revision is for the 3 chapters. Number 1, spreading rumor. Number 2, the potato, the egg and the coffee bean. And the 3rd chapter is Rani Lakshmibai, India's Joan of Arc. So I have dealt with all these 3 chapters. I hope that you have listened to or watched the videos or the classes that I have done with you. And I hope that you have understood all these 3 chapters very nicely. So my first chapter today will be spreading rumor. First, I will give you the gist or the summary of the chapter, and then I shall go directly to the question and answers for your revision. Spreading rumor. In my class of spreading rumor, I have told you the meaning of rumor. Okay? So now the gist of the story. There was a hare and it was leading a very peaceful life. But all of a sudden, while taking a nap under a tree, he became thoughtful. He started thinking about his future. What would his future be like? And then, at the very point of time, there he heard a loud noise. And it came into his mind that maybe the earth is breaking up. So he jumped up from the place and started running wildly. Another hare saw him running like mad. He also asked the hare, "What is the problem with you? Why are you running so wildly?" And the hare told him what he had heard. Then the two of them started running madly. Later on, we have seen in the story that all the animals of the forest were running in the forest, through the forest, like a huge wave, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do. They only knew that something had happened and the earth was breaking up. Seeing this huge wave of animals running wildly through the forest, the king of the forest, the lion, saw this and immediately asked them to stop. Hearing the order of the king, the lion, they stopped immediately. The lion started interrogating all the animals and asked them the reason for their wild run. All the animals, one by one, told him about the reason. And the reason was a very strange reason. The earth was breaking up. And gradually, all the animals, having answered to his question, ultimately, the hare, who had heard the sound for the first time, was asked the same question by the lion. And he answered that, "Yes, I was running madly because the earth is breaking up." The lion asked, "How did you think that the earth was breaking up?" Then he answered that he had heard a huge sound. Then, hearing this, the lion started investigating into the matter. And the lion found out that it was not the earth that broke up, but it was only a coconut that fell from the tallest tree, one of the tallest trees in the forest. And that was the noise only about. The earth was not at all breaking up. So the lion said, "Go to your places, go to your homes, and never act blindly without checking what is true and what is a rumor." So this is also the same case for us. This is a message for us also. Okay, so this is the summary of the story. Now I shall give you certain questions and the answers also. The first question from this chapter is, how did the hare's false message affect the other animals in the forest? The answer is, the hare's false message affected all the other animals in the forest terribly. They all ran for their lives, not knowing where to go and what to do. Second question is, why did the hare suddenly feel insecure? The hare suddenly felt insecure thinking about the future. He began thinking what will happen to him if the earth broke suddenly. Number 3. Why were hundreds of animals running wildly through the forest? Answer is, all the animals, when heard that the earth was breaking up, ran wildly in the forest. They got worried. They couldn't think of their present as well as future. All were panic-stricken. Question number 4. What were the lion's findings when he investigated into the matter? Answer is, the lion found that the sound had been caused by a large coconut that had fallen from one of the tallest coconut trees. It had fallen on a pile of rocks and cracked open, letting out a huge sound. Question number 5. What advice did the lion give to the animals? Answer is, the lion advised all the animals to check whether what they hear is a rumor or a fact before acting on it blindly. Number 6. What is the moral of the story spreading rumor? And the answer is, the moral is not to pay attention to what others say without checking. Never to act blindly. Always to check if it is a fact or a rumor. The second chapter of the story for revision is the potato, the egg and the coffee bean. And this chapter is also maybe very much known to you because I have dealt it in the previous class. This is also a very nice story and we have a very nice message from this story. Okay, so the girl, the main character of the story is Divya, who was a very intelligent girl, and she was having an expectation, having a desire to go for IAS exam and to get admission in a particular college of her own choice. But after giving exams, taking the exams, when the results were out, Divya was very much depressed. She got very much sad because her performance was not up to the mark and she could not get admission in her favorite subject in her desired or preferred college. So Divya was literally devastated and she always cried and cried. Seeing her condition, Divya's mother was very much worried. So she one day showed her an experiment. What was the experiment? I know that all of you know this. She took 3 ingredients and she boiled all these 3 ingredients for 15 minutes and she turned off the flame. After this, we find that the 3 ingredients that she took were transformed in 3 different ways. We find that the potato that was hard before boiling, it became very soft. Second ingredient was an egg. What happened to the egg? The egg before boiling was very, very soft, like liquid, right? But it also got transformed when it was boiled. What happened to it? It got little bit hard and the liquid inside was solidified. But the third ingredient, that is the most important ingredient for us in this chapter, that is the coffee bean. What happened to that? It got transformed. No, but it transformed the water in which it was boiled. So girls, we find that the 3 ingredients acted differently when boiled. So by this experiment, Divya's mother wanted to show Divya that we may be facing a lot of challenges, a lot of hindrances or obstacles in our lives. Maybe there are many situations to come in our lives. But in what way should we act? Should we act like a potato? Or should we act like an egg? Or should we act like the coffee bean? Yes, the third one is the right one. We have to be like the coffee bean. Means what? We do not have to be depressed. We do not have to lose hope. Always we should have the hope and desire in our heart burning. And whatever may be the situation in front of us in our lives, we have to change the situation ourselves. We should not get transformed by the situations. We should not lose hope. We should not get depressed or frustrated. But we should have hope, and we should get the scenario or the situation transformed by ourselves. Okay, so this is the whole message of this story. Beautiful story it is. But now let me give you some questions and their answers. The first question from this chapter is, why was Divya frustrated when the results of the final exam were announced? Divya expected to secure the top rank in her exam, but when the result was announced, her performance was not up to the mark and she could not get admission for her favorite subject in her preferred college. Okay? Question number 2. What message did Divya's mother want to convey by boiling the 3 different ingredients in water? Answer is, Divya's mother wanted Divya to understand that we may face unexpected situations in life, but what is important is how we respond to that. We need to think how we can make the best out of that situation and succeed. Question number 3. What was the common hardship that each of the ingredient went through? Answer is, each of the ingredient was boiled in water, but surprisingly, all of those ingredients reacted to it differently. Question number 4. How was the coffee bean different from the potato and the egg? Answer is, the potato and the egg themselves got transformed when boiled in water, but the coffee bean transformed the water. Question number 5. Which of the 3 ingredients would you choose as your role model to handle failures, and why? Answer should be, coffee bean should be chosen as one's role model. Come what may in our lives, we should not get depressed. Rather, we should think how to make the best of the hardship. We should transform the situation according to our needs, and thus success will be ours. Then comes our final chapter, Rani Lakshmibai, India's Joan of Arc. So you all have your books, and perhaps you have read the chapter nicely, and perhaps you know who is the Joan of Arc. She was a national heroine of France. Okay, she is known as Joan of Arc. But Rani Lakshmibai, our very own Queen of Jhansi, can also be called India's Joan of Arc. She was a valiant, very courageous, and very patriotic a lady. And she led a beautiful revolution against the British. She is, and she can be the role model for all of us, because she had a number of virtues and qualities in herself that can be the pathway for all of us. Okay? Lakshmibai, who is very much affectionately called Manu by her parents, and she was named Manikarnika by her parents after she was born. Lakshmibai was born on 19th November 1835 and she passed away on 17 June 1858, fighting bravely against the British. So, we have seen in the biography that Rani Lakshmibai was different from all the other ladies or the women of her times. she was married at the age of 14 to Raja Gangadhar Rao, but she happened to be the widow, and she had adopted a son who was named Damodar Rao. But the British, by their cruel nature, did not accept her adopted son to be the heir to the throne of Jhansi. And she was, left by the British. She was pronounced by the British to leave Jhansi. But she was not ready to leave Jhansi because she was her motherland. How could she her motherland? So, what she did? She formed a huge army in which she trained women of her age in that army. And it was a beautifully led army with valor, with courage, with bravery. She herself learnt archery, horsemanship, self-defense, shooting, lot of things. These were really very much different qualities from the women of that time. And we have found that she not only led the army, but she did it very beautifully and in a very brave manner. So, at the end, we have seen that Rani Lakshmibai tied her infant son behind her back and escaped over the city walls at night. And later we have found that she died fighting for her Jhansi, for her dear motherland Jhansi, against the British. So this was Rani Lakshmibai. Her biography not only encourages us, but all her qualities and virtues give us the strength, the courage to be the women that we are, to face the challenges that come in our ways in the lives. So this was the gist and the summary of the chapter, Rani Lakshmibai. Now let me give you some questions from this chapter. The first question from this chapter is, Rani Lakshmibai was shrewd enough to learn kingdom-related matters at a very early age. You have to justify this statement. So, answer should be, the British ordered the Queen to leave Jhansi, but she did not give up and strengthened her defense forces and recruited women to give them military training. During the Sepoy Mutiny in 1857, she gathered her troops, built a powerful army with eminent warriors. With her exceptional leadership qualities, she led her troops swiftly and efficiently. She studied self-defense, horsemanship, archery. She prepared herself to be the Queen of Jhansi. Question number 2 is, how was Rani Lakshmibai different from the other women of her times? Answer is, Rani Lakshmibai was brave and courageous. She did a lot of things in her life that made her different from the other women of her times. After her husband's death, she adopted a son. She learned archery, horse riding, shooting, sword fighting, fencing. She had the love for Jhansi and did everything to save her motherland. At a very tender age, she took up the grave responsibility of political matters and always protested against the British rulers. She became an epitome of valor, patriotism, and responsibility. And the last question that we have from this chapter is, why is Rani Lakshmibai called India's Joan of Arc? This is a very important question, girls. Answer is, she is one of the most respected women of this country. She is one of the rare historical figures who became a highly respected legend for her bravery and valor during her battle against the British. So, she can be called India's Joan of Arc, just as the national heroine of France. So, this was all about the revision of the 3 chapters, girls. But After all this, I would like you to read and go through all the 3 chapters very nicely and learn the chapters by heart, because all these questions are there for revision, but several other questions can come out from the chapters. Okay, so go through the chapters very nicely and learn the stories very nicely. That's all, and thank you.